I'm sure Emmanuel, of course, you know, it was the Doodle Club, but knowing Mark and knowing Emmanuel and all the travels you two have been around the world, I'm sure there must be a juicy story you can tell me about my son, Mark, Emmanuel.
Well, no, I am the most boring doodoo. I'm like that lonely little circular doodoo that's
Oh, Mark is not, he's
the
the
edges of the park.
instigator.
I'm so tiny and insignificant.
Oh,
Nobody even picks me up and puts me in the trash.
all right, you
That's
don't.
me.
I understand, Emmanuel. In other words, he's telling you to keep your mouth shut.
No, but you
I
see,
understand.
the thing is,
But you know, it's really
because
awesome that the Doodle Club was formed because I'm sad to say that out of the original group, some of them have passed, and that's
yeah,
very sad. But those of you that are still alive, are that you still work out, you still keep in touch, you know, all the good things that form a bond between kids when they're young. And that's what really happened with Mark and Craig when we moved to Germany. They learned another half of life. They bonded with so many people from so many different parts of the world. And never, ever, ever, ever in Mark's life did he think that what we had in Germany would carry on into his adult years to give him education, not from college, but from life.
life.
Because the best education is the life you learn from the street. Emmanuel, when you first met Mark, what did you think of him?
No, it was just like that island connection. So we just got connected. And since it was only me and him, and I remember he used to clean up the dojo and the toilet, and Craig was responsible for the shopping and
the bar, all the cool stuff,
all the nice things.
Yeah.
So I used to come from school and help Mark cleaning the toilets and cleaning the training room so we could train. And then
he wanted more time to beat me up, Mom.
when we went to Hawaii and came back as Durus, everyone, because he's the teacher's son, everyone wants to be like him. And then by the time I came back from Hawaii, it was no more Craig and Mark. It was Craig, Mark, and Emmanuel. You see, you go shopping for Mark and Craig, and I come. I have new sweatsuit. I have new shoes. I have new t-shirts. So we walk in the school like all the new stuff, and everyone wants to look like us. Next week, everyone had the same thing. So you go buy for Mark, me, and Craig, mostly the sports thing for Mark and me. So everyone want to look, and we find out, you know, Mark is just like, you want to become a guru? So something, and that's why we came up with all the ideas, the initial to be a duru, and then you had the over duru, you have the 3/4 duru, and we had duru language, we had duru meetings.
All of you, you were simply amazing, and I as the mother of all of you, as you have grown up into beautiful men, am so honored that I had some sort of responsibility for guiding you along the path. I know I'm not a typical mother, nothing typical about me. I don't ever want to be typical. I want to stay this way forever. Because had I been typical, maybe you guys would have been typical. But I induced a flare of craziness into my son. I see that in Mark all the time, so much of me in Mark. And in Emmanuel, I see the serious side of him, you know, but I am just so pleased and proud. And like today, well, I really didn't know Emmanuel Mark was going to do this. And Mark was aware of the fact that I'm doing my road to the top now, but, you know, I really haven't seen much of Mark because he's busy getting ready to do maybe a movie and this and that. And he's very busy and doesn't really have a lot of time. And when he's in this phase of his life, I understand it. But this is what I mean about the special bonding. You heard it was Emmanuel, and you took time out of your day to come and share the moment with Emmanuel with his interview. And I think that is just goes to show how special your friendship is. You guys have been friends since you were teenagers. And for me, I'm so touched that You've done so much together in life. And Mark, I'm also so touched you've included Emmanuel in so many little projects here and there because you believed in him. And Emmanuel believed in you, Mark. I can't understand. You were leading the poor man astray, Mark. How he could possibly believe in you? Anybody who would form a doo-doo club.
Well, Doodle, he's very serious, very hardworking. And I think when we became friends, he thought, oh, thank goodness, finally a friend who's ridiculous and stupid, so I can just pretend it's his fault and be funny with him and blame it on him. Finally, Doodle says, I can let my real self out and blame it on Doodle.
Oh,
we are just successful because the way you tortured us as youngsters. Because it was no fun. It was no fun when we used to train with you. It was just like, I don't know the English word, but it was just like you would torture. It was torture.
No,
but right? But because of that torture, we gain so much discipline when we do something. And still now, when we meet, no matter where, for example, just an example, we shooting in Russia or in Manila.
Istanbul.
We look at each other. The first thing we do, oh, let's go work out.
Oh right? My goodness.
That's you.
Oh.
No, it's true.
Emmanuel, did you? I'm sorry.
No, I was saying that your workout, I don't think, I know Doodle went on to have an incredible, competitive career as an athlete and fighter. But for me, going into acting, as difficult and challenging as it sometimes is, I've never been in better shape as when Emmanuel and I were sparring partners, training every day, with Dad teaching us fighting and you, Mom, teaching us forms and fighting. I've never been in better shape than that. And honestly, I never want to be in that good a shape because, like Doodoo said, it was really, really hard. And what you did bring out in us is that you showed us how much better we could be.
Exactly.
How good we could be if we push ourselves, if we trusted you and let you push us and pushed ourselves to that level. But kidding aside, like what Duda says, it was sometimes it felt like torture. Of course, it was voluntary because we wanted to be there with you. We wanted to train. We wanted to push ourselves. Yeah. But it's much harder than it's much harder than I ever thought. And I've never in my life been able to do a 20-minute 90-degree, thighs parallel to the floor, Pferdestellung, horse stance, Mabul. I've never done a 20-minute horse stance, consistently as we did for years in your Friday night fight class. I mean, I remember, ich glaube, das war so, no? We ran 20 minutes, then we did a 20-minute Pferdestellung, a 20-minute.
Oh man, I was a wicked woman.
And then we did 20 minutes of just defensive and offensive side kicks. And that was for 1 hour. We did those three things.
Crazy.
That's right. And then sometimes Friday night, we used to do sidekick for the whole hour. And then we go to a tournament and you would scream, Friday night kick. People were afraid of the sidekick because you win.
It used to always amaze me how the students, including Mark, you guys, I was always the first teacher to teach and Al was the last teacher to teach you guys. I would get you students all primed, ready, pumped, ready to go to Al. And it was always amazing to me after what I put you guys through, how you could go in and now train with Al. And I would sit back and I would just say, good job, Malia, because I realized all the hard training I did and strengthening and preparation for Emmanuel, Mark, and all the others. Al was lucky. He didn't have to do anything but teach you technique. You were already fit as a fiddle. I got you that way. But before you joined us, Mark, Emmanuel and I were talking about how I made you guys work out. I said, no kung fu's booties in this school. You're wearing combat boots. And I remember all of the students thought I was crazy, but it improved you. Your kicks got better. Your stretch got better.
Yep.
everything got better. And Emmanuel, as I was just telling our viewing audience, with all the hard training that Emmanuel did, he became recognized worldwide in his forms, in his fighting, in his demonstration. He became a household name, even here in America. Now, today, Emmanuel is well known by so many people. And I always smile, a little bit of a smile, but a big smile in my heart, because I have never, ever heard one person say a bad thing about Emmanuel. Never. And if there was ever anything bad to say about Emmanuel, it will go to the grave with my son Mark, because he will never tell the juicy stories. And so
Mom, the only thing people complain about Emmanuel is that he kicks too fast, he hits too hard, he's too strong.
his legs are too
All
long.
those things I know training with him. I mean, the thing is, Dudu is, he's almost 6'2", but he's super fast and strong. And, maybe he was not naturally flexible, but thanks to your training, he's super flexible now. So it's amazing to see, just as his friend and one of his training partners, to see the growth that he made, in putting in all that time and effort with you and Dad. It was crazy, because I was there at the beginning when he tore his little short pants and, and could not even close to the splits. And now he's like flat pancake, and I was there and I saw him train every day, and I saw you push him, and I saw Dad push him, and he's amazing now. And he was always smart and athletic, but I think with the martial arts training and his dedication, he's been able to use that into everything else, that the whole discipline and consistency, and like he said, with the training that felt like torture, I think his poor students, because Dudu knows how hard it is to be good, and I'm sure he takes some of that to his students.
Yeah, definitely. But not that my karate pants was short, it was white. I had this karate white belt on it to hold it up. And then every time we do stretching, you will pick me up and pull me and pull me. I used to look at Mark and just like, no. I still can see you pulling that belt and pushing my legs. It was torture, but that's exactly how he said it. If it wouldn't be for you, everything, because you have to go over the limit.
Yeah. And who wants to do that?
The thing is, I became so flexible, and people don't expect a big, heavy guy as me to move like a lightweight. And I remember when I used to go to the big tournaments, they looked at me, your division is over there. This is the heavyweight. I said, no, this is my division. I'm a heavyweight. And they said, yeah, but this is the light. I said, no, this is the heavyweight. And later, when they got the sidekick, they said, oh, he's a heavyweight. and I got to fight all the great fighters in America, like Billy Blanks, Nasty Anderson, Jerry Fontanes. I fought all of them. And they just looked at me like, where this guy came from. And then after a while, we became friends, because at that time, I don't know if you remember the Oil Continental team. They would get paid to go to the tournament, and the higher they get closer to the win, they will get money. So as soon as they saw me, they used to run away from me, not because they were afraid, just the risk of losing was the risk of losing and getting less money. So they will go to the other side, and so they get closer if we get to fight close to the end, and I had so much fun. And I remember when Mark and I used to go to the American tournament, they used to go to Sifu, can you please change the name?
Oh my gosh. It's such a warm feeling for me. I know, just to sit here and listen to you two share stories, because it's not very often that it's just the three of us alone, so to speak. When we're out and about, there's usually we're either eating somewhere or a congregation of people, and we don't have the time for one-on-one talking like we are doing here. And this is really, really special for me. Make me cry. There's my son, Mark. I very rarely get to see him unless we're eating turkey or cutting ham or it's a holiday. But even now with the world the way it is, I don't get to see him other than like this or Texas, and Emmanuel the same way. But in a special kind of way, this is for me a little more personable, even though many people are going to watch this. But it's just, as far as I'm concerned, the three of us right now, and that's really awesome because I can see what you guys have become, and I'm so grateful to God I'm still here to see you guys and all that you're doing. And I'm so proud of Emmanuel, and I'm so proud that you had the opportunity to do movies with Mark. No,
Yes.
not many people have had that wonderful opportunity. And I don't want people to think that Mark just handed it to you. He didn't just hand it to you. You had to prove yourself that you deserved whatever the part it was that you were given. Mark didn't really go talk to somebody and say, "Now you gotta hire that man." No, Mark is not that kind of a
Mom,
person. Nothing about Mark is that way.
Emmanuel,
And
he had his own career going in movies. He was already
oh,
choreographing and doing all that stuff. So many people already knew him,
Yeah, but it's different because over here, I mean, when you moved to the States in 1981 and Mark moved, it was 80 or 81, right? It was our dreams.
Nee, du, actually war ich in Taiwan. Aber
Yeah. Yeah, you were in Taiwan in 80 and then after that you moved to the States, I think 82, 82, 84. But then I was working for Lufthansa. I had the chance to travel the world, and now I saw Mark struggling. I mean, he was struggling to reach his goal. And I looked at him, I said,
Duru sent me money for my rent a couple times. I couldn't even pay my rent.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him because he said, I had to walk 7 kilometers because I didn't have money to pay the ticket. I said, Drew, you know what? You stay here. I stick with Lufthansa. I come visit you.
right. Now that the first half of your life that I was involved in, that part is over. The second half of your life, I'm still in it, thank God. We still train, talk, and move forward. But the second half of your life is responsible for giving you all these amazing opportunities because you focused so hard on the first half of your life. Had you not been who you were as a martial artist and worked for every little kick and punch you earned in the second half of your life, which is now, my goodness, you've done movies, television, interviews, radio shows, I mean, what have you not done? That's because they saw who you were the first half. You proved yourself. And that's why I think, Mark, if there's a possibility for you to do anything, whether it's with Mark or someone else, he knows your capability. He knows your dedication. He knows that you're worthy. And I just want people to know that Mark doesn't hand things over to Emmanuel, not that way, because there's people that think that it isn't that way. Emmanuel earns every little thing that he gets. But I'm proud of you, Emmanuel. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud that Mark had the opportunity to suggest your name in a pot of many others. And after looking at you, people wanted you. I'm proud that Al and I were responsible for building your foundation so that you could be recognized to do movies and television and all that other good stuff. You made me so proud. Isn't that right,
Yeah,
Mark?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, didn't Mother say it as it is?
Mom, Duru, Entschuldigung, Duru. Ich muss gleich weg. Aber,
okay.
aber lass uns dann über das Wochenende sprechen, okay? Rufst du mich an oder ich rufe dich an?
Ja.
Okay, Duru, ich liebe dich, ich vermisse dich, Duru.
Ich
Viel
vermisse
Glück
dich
mit
auch.
Timo.
Okay. Anche da studiava Arturo.
Okay. Hey, bye, Mom. I love you. I got to go.
I love you. I love you. Go kill him. Get that movie. I want to
Bye.
see you on the big screen. Thank you. Thank you for this pleasant surprise. I
You're
love
welcome,
you. I
Mom.
love you. I love you.
I love
And
you
Mark,
too.
I must say while you're in front of me, I do not approve of those trails you're going up and down.
Okay. Sorry, Mom. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, I love you. Goodbye.
Bye. Cheers,
Mwah.
Dudu. Peace, bye,
Thank
Dudu.
you. Bye.
Yeah, Arturo. Christy non Julie.
Emmanuel,
Okay.
what a pleasant surprise. I mean, that's like the icing on the cake.
Definitely, and we didn't know.
I wanted to ask, but my interview kind of went this way with my wonderful son coming to visit us. I love it. I love you, Mark. Love you, Mark. But anyhow, Emmanuel, as I was saying that, the first half of your life was over and now you go into the second half of your life. And the reason all these wonderful opportunities happened your way because you were so fit, you were so talented, you were a hard worker, you were determined. Everything about you was material that people would want to hire. And I mean, you choreograph fight scenes. You've done it all. You saw an opportunity to take what you learned in your first half and turn it into a business of sorts. I mean, not only did you do the movies, but you have a big, amazing, wonderful school. And so you are, however, you never got to use your pilot's license because you don't fly anymore. So now you're grounded. But, but Emmanuel, I'm sure the people would be curious out of all the movies that you made, which is your favorite?
Well, my favorite actually is the one we did in Turkey with Mark. Sultan'ın Sırrı. It was my favorite because we got to play together and I got to learn a lot from the other side. And me playing the lead role with Mark on my side, I mean, that's the best present you could ever have. Of course, it was my dream to become a movie star in Germany, but it never happened because things are different because of the racial situation, because of being a foreigner. So I became one of the 3 top choreographers in Germany, and every set, people will compliment me how good I look, how good I am, how good I did the work, but they never offered me a main thing. So I was most focused behind the camera instead of the front of the camera. So when that movie in Turkey happened, everyone was talking about Mark and me being together, but it never happened. So we had been in Turkey before, and but it didn't happen also. And when that one happened, of course, Mark is the actor, but it couldn't be the combination. And they got to know me, and they offered me. They said, "Well, we want you to be the leader." And I was just like, no. We have to talk to Mark because he's the leader. He's the actor. And I don't know if I can take the responsibility of being the lead actor because it's a lot of responsibility. And then I spoke to Mark and he said, "Duru, I cannot because the timing. But if they do offer you to do that, I'd be more than pleased to do so." And I was feeling so bad because he's the movie star. I was just behind the camera, but they didn't care. They just wanted me and him together. So
Yes.
After I spoke to Mark, he said, "Duru, you don't have nothing to be afraid of. It's a big responsibility to be the lead actor, but you can do it." So I said, "Well, Duru, if you say I can do it, I can do it." Okay. I said, "Okay, we're going to do it." And then we did it. And when we started, it was just like, it's a new territory in Turkey, the way they do things. And I was trying to explain a lot of things, being the choreography, being the lead actor. And it was just like when you talk to a wall, no one will respond. It's just like the choreography. And how you do the choreography? Yeah, the fighting scenes, we do it like no contact to be very careful and safe. And just like, no, over here we live in contact. And I had a fighting scene and I was supposed to beat up 3 other guys. And the guys said, "No, don't worry, just contact." I said, "No, I cannot hit them because if I hit them, they won't be able to shoot anymore." "Yeah, but it's okay. We hired them for that, so it's okay." I said, "No, I know what I can do." And they didn't know my fighting ability until Mark came into the picture. And we were working on the fighting scenes. And then Mark and me had the fighting scene together. And in 10 minutes, we put the fighting scenes together. You know how we just look, do this, do that, do this, do this. And they look just, oh. And then after that point, it was just like boom, 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 boom.
All of my students, I mean, great life. I can never forget it. But, you know, I think about you, where you're at now, your stage of your life. You even eventually opened your own business, your own martial arts school called Tayo. But let's back up a little bit. Tell me, how does it feel when you became a black belt?
It was funny because Mark and I, as you know, we used to train very hard. I mean, no one in the school would train as hard as Mark and I would train. But at that time, it was just like the brown belt and the black belt would fight together. And it was so much fun for us being brown belt to beat up the black belts that we never wanted to become black belts. I remember you would train us, and who's going to be for testing? Everyone would raise up their fingers, and Mark and I used to sneak and go hide at the toilet. I remember you used to pick us up the toilet. You do the testing now. So that's how we did the green, the blue, and the brown belt. We never want to. And then just before you left, you promoted us to, Sifu promoted us to black belt without having to do the testing. Because he said, I know what you guys can do. I know you can train. And before I leave, I want you guys to become black belt. So that was everything changed, because for Mark it was okay because he was the son of Sifu and Simo. But me, I mean, I remember everyone was jealous because you put me and Mark, like it was no different between Mark and me in the way you treated me. So everyone was jealous at me. And then you promoted us to a black belt. And then you left and Mark left. Everyone had some training partner, and my training partner, which was Mark, and the whole learning process and success was gone. So I had to go by myself because he was the only one that were really at first. I mean, you had Christian and Tassos, Jan and Mike. It was me and Mark. Winfried was with things. So I was by myself.
I know you have your own school, but when you first became the owner and it's your school, and you're no longer a student, you're the black belt, you're the teacher. How did it feel to suddenly become the teacher and you're up in front of the class?
It was actually, after you left, I was the only one that never had the idea to have his own school, because my dream was to move to America and, you know, and live in America and build up something and might become a movie star in that. So I had no plans on having a school here. And I was working for Lufthansa. So when I stopped working for Lufthansa, I went to the States because I had decided that I want to live in the States. And then it happened that I got an offer. I came back and I had this offer. I said, no, I help, but I don't want to have nothing with the school. And I said, you know what? You're not working for the Lufthansa. You don't have your own students. You don't have a permanent work right now. What can you do wrong? Mm-hmm. I said, okay, I will take the responsibility, even if I don't work here, but I have it. And I had to prove everything, that everything was correct. So I decided, okay, I'll do it. And I know everyone was mad at me because all of a sudden the sunny boy flies here, flies there, and he has the biggest school. It was a big responsibility because all the martial art, they just wanted to have the school. And I got the offer, and I turned it off like 2 or 3 times until I finally decided. And when I decided, I let it go like it was, I was the owner, but I let it work the way it was working. And then it took almost 2 years for me to realize, you know, this is your school. And 2 years after I bought the school, I started changing everything. And that's when I bought all the new things in the school, Afro dance, Brazilian. So it's the most diverse school, with, especially with the African culture in it. Capoeira was never taught in schools.
Sounds like a little bit of Malia in you.
Well, it all of a sudden it came out, and everyone was mad at me. And then the madder they got, the more power I had. And I mean, I started training my students just the way you taught me how to teach. And that's why I developed to become like one of the most people just want to have school like this because of the martial arts, but also because of the atmosphere that we had. Like
Amazing.
you used to torture us in class, but then we go eat, we'll go dancing, we'll go for vacation. So everything that we did back then when I was a youngster, I did in my school. And I had another person that I have to mention, which is who belongs, because
I
when I
taught
first,
you a way.
yes,
I
because
not
when,
only taught you how to be a teacher, but how to run the business.
yeah,
Oh,
because I remember the first time, you remember when we went to US and you went to Hawaii and Mark and I stayed with Sifu Belowens?
just amazing.
And I was just like, wow, this is the one. Because of my African background, I was so impressed with Sifu Bill School. I said, one day, it was a dream. If I would have a school, it would be just like this big with Afro, with capoeira, with everything. So
Yeah.
it happened.
I must say, Emmanuel has an amazing school. Schools in Germany, all the black belts over there that are under us have amazing schools, but Emmanuel's is big, tons of windows and spaces, and he has a full gym. I mean, he's just really got an amazing school, and he too has a bar. Yeah, he has a
Yes,
bar. All schools have a bar, but
and a lounge.
how long has that school been open? How long you been in business?
Uh, I've been teaching here since 1986.
Wow.
And of course, I took over because I started in 1986 as a Kung Fu teacher. And when I took over, it's 1994. But this, so far, is the oldest school in Hamburg, the oldest existing school in Hamburg, Tayo Sports Center. And I'm so
Uh,
proud.
this is like for me, you're in your second half of your life, and now it's going to come the third. What are your plans for the future?
Well, I mean, I plan to, my dream is maybe one day to go to Cape Verde and have you and Sifu and Mark in Cape Verde for us to
I'm
show
ready.
something.
Bags packed.
Yes.
I'll go.
So, and I would like to organize thing and just because in Cape Verde, people really appreciate my work and my achievement, and being a sports ambassador for the Republic of Cape Verde, it's something that makes me very proud. And I want to show them who the people that are responsible, that that's been with me all during my career. So that's one dream that I wish I can accomplish very soon.
Emmanuel, I get emotional. I'm so proud you were my student. You made me, you made my style, my forms, my teaching. You made it look so good. You put it on the map in Europe. People would say, who'd you train with? Well, you trained with both Al and Malia, but Malia, and you complimented me. I'm so, so, so proud of you. I'm proud that our friendship is not that I was just your teacher, but your friend, your mama, as you call me, mama now and then. I'm proud of the man that you are. You became an amazing man. I want to leave you with words that I always live by this. All things are possible to those who believe. And people know that my faith, my belief, my trust in God is 100%. And whenever I don't know, should I go right or should I go left, I basically don't go to people. I go straight to God because He always guides me and shows me my way. And I want you to remember whenever you're in a jam or you don't know where you're going, or should you, all things are possible to those who believe. You always have to keep your belief and your faith in God and move forward, Emmanuel. That's Mama Malia speaking to you to
Yes,
protect you.
and me also, I'm very thankful and proud that I've had met you, Mark, Sifu Bill, because it's that, I mean, the age of 13, 15, where you start find out what direction you want to go, and you gave me the direction. I know I went by myself, but it was the seeds that you put in the hard work, the way you treated us and the way you treated me, especially by being Mark's best friend and become a third son. So until this day, people always talk about you, and they know it's
I'm
it's
sure,
the hard
good or
work that
bad, they're talking.
I'm thankful for that.
Oh,
Yes.
well, Emmanuel, I'm hoping that the times change and maybe they'll find an answer for this world situation and we'll all be able to be together again. And I miss the students. I miss Germany. I miss my friends. I miss you, Regina. I miss everybody. And I hope that the good Lord cures the world, cures the people, and that we begin to have life as it will be when the change happens. But Emmanuel, I thank you so much for allowing me to chit chat with you.
I
Um,
thank you.
I feel happy now. I saved an airline ticket, didn't have to fly. We got to talk on Zoom.
Yeah,
And
but we have to go have dim sum.
pardon me?
We have to go have dim sum, so you have to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Emmanuel, hello to your family.
Thank
Hello
you very
to the students. Tell everybody I love them and miss them. And again, I'm proud of what you are today. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Big
Okay,
kiss.
bye.
Love you.
Talk
Bye
to you
bye.
soon. Love you.
Okay,
Bye.
talk to you soon. Bye bye.